Uh, in previous classes, we have studied about the centralization factors, nature, advantages, and disadvantages. Okay, and now coming to decentralization. Okay, so what does decentralization of authority means? So decentralization in management, basically it means the orderly assignment of authority throughout the levels of the management in an organization. Okay, so orderly assignment means major decisions were taken by the top level management, and the other levels, middle level and lower level management, will take the decisions regarding their departments. Okay, uh, here only the major decisions taken by only the top level management. Okay, this is why we are going for decentralization, means in order to have flexibility in the organization. Okay, in order to have effective control and supervision on the management, or on all levels of management, or on the subordinates or employees, or in order to reduce the burden of the top level management, because they have to concentrate on the other functions of management like planning, organizing, directing, staffing, controlling. Okay, and to take prompt decision making. Okay, and for motivation of employees also. Okay, for all these reasons, decentralization is very necessary. Okay, and coming to the definition, or the right meaning for decentralization, means it refers to dispersal of decision making authority. Means the decisions are to be made by persons and places away from the center. Okay, we know center is the top management. In centralization, we have learned what is centralization. Means the authority lies on the top management. Here, the decisions are to be made by the persons and at places away from the center, means the middle level management and the lower level management. Okay, and decentralization of authority can be defined as partial and systematic dispersal and devolution of managerial authority from top level management to middle and lower level management. Means it means that the dispersal and devolution of managerial authority means it is sharing. Okay, sharing the authority, delegating the authority in a partial terms. Okay, in partial and systematic dispersal. Systematic in the sense according to the levels of the management, partially delegating the authority for the smooth functioning of the organization. Okay, why? Because top level management only takes crucial decisions. Okay, it cannot concentrate on each and every level of management and look over the it may not have, okay, concentration on all the supervision of the all levels of management. Okay, so top management here retains crucial planning and control functions in its own hands to ensure a measure of overall coordination or organizational purpose. Okay, so thus decentralization is the distribution of authority throughout the organization. Here, distribution of authority in the sense not by giving simple assignment of functions and duties to lower level managements. Okay, because it may not result in decentralization unless it is backed up by delegation of enough authority to these levels. We have studied in authority. Okay, delegation of authority without required power. Okay, it can the manager cannot exercise his duties on the subordinates to perform their duties. Okay, so likewise here simple assignment of functions and duties to lower level managers, it doesn't mean decentralization. Okay, so we have to delegate the required authority to take decisions to the levels of the management. Okay, that means decentralization. So this means that greater freedom is given in decision making to lower level managers and supervisors in the organization. Okay, So, the principle of decentralization suggests that the decision making should be carried out nearest to the point of action. Means, in each and every department, to that particular department, they are confined to take the decisions. Okay, the authority, delegation of authority is given by the uh, top level management. Okay, so that's why Alan, he defined decentralization as the systematic effort to delegate to the lower levels of all authority except that which can only be exercised at the central points. So central points are the major decisions like planning and controlling, so those will be in the hands of the top level management. Okay, but the subordinates in lower level management, they are free to take decisions regarding to their central point. Okay, and here in decentralization, what we will see means decisions can be taken at different levels of management. Okay, so here we see top level management, middle level management, okay, lower level management. So here in lower level management also, they are also confined to the decision making. Okay, decisions here, when decisions can be taken at different levels, see, all the levels of management are involved in decision making. If we see in centralization means, okay, centralization of authority, there we will see only top level management will take the decisions. Okay, top level management only take decisions regarding each and every aspect. Okay, so the other levels, middle level or lower level, are not involved in the decision making. But coming to here decentralization, so all the levels of management are involved in decision making. Only key centers like planning and controlling will be the in the hands of the top level management. Why? Because in order to ensure a measure of overall coordination or organizational purpose, so in order to see the overall organizational purpose, in order to see any flaws, if at all, in all the levels of management, and in order to coordinate and integrate, for that purpose planning and controlling will be handled by the top level management, right? Next, here, according to Kuhns also, decentralization of authority is a fundamental phase of delegation. Okay, phase of delegation of authority. So, without decentralization, delegation of authority is also meaningless. So, delegation of authority with required amount regarding to that particular job. Okay, so without required authority is not given means it becomes meaningless. So under forms of decentralization, okay, what can be studied. Okay, so forms of decentralization means how the authority, delegation of authority can be done. Okay, so in which areas means departmentation or divisionalization of activities. So definitely in each and every organization, so departmentation or division means each department like production department, marketing department, finance department, HR department. Okay, so these are the different divisions or departments in the organization. So according to that, the delegation of authority will be given. So those particular departments or divisions in the sense, okay, the divisions or departments, another product line may have for that company. Okay, another unit may have in another geographical area, it may have another unit. So all these comes under the departmentation and divisionalization, and all these have some decision making powers regarding their activities. Okay, and coming to another one is arrangement of activities in terms of places where these are to be performed. So as I said before, if at all the particular organization is having another unit in another different area means, so there also they have to perform certain activities regarding that particular unit. Okay, so they are the people who are working there also, they are confined to take to have some power. Okay, so delegation of authority is given to them by the top level management to take decisions. Okay, why? Because top level management is residing in, for example, in AP. in Andhra Pradesh. So another unit, it was resided at Delhi. Okay, so in every day, the activities cannot be performed nearly by the top level management. So therefore, the employees working there, they are delegated some authority to perform the duties, activities. Okay, so for that purpose, decentralization is this in this form, and another one is dispersal of decision making powers. Okay, so dispersal of decision making powers among executives at various levels. So partial dispersion of decision making is given by the top level management to different levels of executives. Okay, in order to perform, in order to get smooth functioning in the organization. Okay, so in order to increase the efficiency of the organization. Okay, or else for the effective control and supervision in each and every department, to look over each and every employees in the organization. So in order to have effective supervision, to take prompt decision makings. Okay, and to reduce the burden of management also. Okay, so this dispersal of decision making powers were given to the executives. Now coming to what is the what are the uh, requirements. Okay, so require before need or requirements, uh, we will see an example. Okay, for example, a bakery manufacturer and outlet owner, he is both a bakery manufacturer and he is the outlet owner also. Okay, he opened two more retail outlets in his city. The owner was initially taking all the decisions solely and was able to manage both because he is the owner of the outlets. Okay, and also he is the manufacturer. So the manufacturing and the retail outlet were now maintained by him. Okay, so and they are owned by himself, but now he has to plan for decentralization of his organization. Okay, so decentralization means we have studied the forms, these three forms. Okay, what departmentation, arrangement of activities, dispersal of decision making powers. Okay, all this comes under. And but now he has to plan for decentralization of organization, and this is because he has to focus more on strategical decisions rather than on the day to day operations. Okay, so why he is going to decentralization means he has to plan strategically. Strategic decisions, we all know, we studied about strategic decisions means the long term decisions regarding the growth, for the growth of the organization. Okay, he has to see all the external environmental factors for the growth of the organization. Okay, so he has to concentrate more on strategical decisions rather than the day to day daily operations of the organization. And the sole proprietor, he hired three managers for all the three outlets. Okay, so he decided to manage the manufacturing unit by himself. Okay, so initially I have said he has manufacturing unit and retailing unit, and he is going to plan for other two outlets. Okay, so here he decided to manage the manufacturing unit by himself, and he also appointed the other staff for cleaning and sales to work for each outlet. Okay, now he is having three outlets, and for three outlets he appointed other staff for cleaning and sales to work for each outlet. So finally he decides to delegate the authority to the managers for making decisions related to their respective outlet. Okay, regarding stock, customer handling, order placements. Okay, workers leave and turnover and other operational activities. Okay, so these are the basic operational activities that were conducted by the departmental heads, or else the other staff. Okay, so means that means he delegated the authority to the managers of those three outlets. Okay, so these managers have to look after regarding all these aspects like the stock. Okay, customer handling, order placements, workers leave. Okay, and turnover. Okay, and other operational activities. So this decentralization practice leads to better management of each outlet as well as the manufacturing unit also. Why manufacturing unit is seen by this sole proprietor. Okay, so it also facilitated the owner to plan for organizational growth and development. Why? Because he can concentrate on the crucial elements of functions of management like planning and controlling. These leads to the organizational growth and development. Okay, so this is a small example regarding to decentralization. And now, so why we have to go for decentralization? What is the need for decentralization? So need means, first one is uh, growth and development of an organization in terms of volume and size of business necessitates decentralization of authority. So whenever we are going for the growth and development of an organization, if as I said before in this example, okay, the owner is planning for the growth and development of the organization, so he has to take strategic decisions. So therefore he hired three managers for three outlets in order to see the operational activities. Likewise here, for that sense, for growth and development, so for growth and development, this necessitates this leads to decentralization of authority. Why? Because the reason is more activities through more divisions or departments can be performed only by having decentralized organizational structure. Okay, now coming to second one, to cope up with uncertainty, explicitity and diversity of rapidly changing environment. So this is another reason. Okay, so as the environment, we all know that the environment is the business environment, regarding many aspects, economical, political, technological changes. So all these affect the organizational performance. Therefore, according to the requirement, okay, we have to design the policies, we have to formulate the strategies, okay, we have to go for action plans. So therefore, as the business environment is uncertain, explicit and diversity existed, so in order to overcome all those aspects, definitely there is a requirement of decentralization. Why? Because the particular departmental managers can handle the changing environments, okay, according to the requirement. So next one is diversification of organizational activities into complex and specialized cells. Okay, so this is another aspect. So this leads to the decentralization. Complex and specialized. If at all the routine works, as I said before, in managers operational activities like three outlets, so three outlet managers, they see regarding the stock, customer handling, order placements. So those are the very daily routine activities that can be performed by them. But if at all there is any complex and specialized cells or specialized activities that are needed, okay, in such cases, definitely, okay, a diversification of organizational activities were needed. Okay, so because every cell requires a separate division with operational autonomy, paving the way for decentralization. Okay, so separate divisions also, okay, separate divisions need some other diversification of authority. For example, another product line, okay, we are now in pharmaceutical company producing, okay, now we are diversifying it to the FMCG products. Okay, so then definitely according to that, we have to decentralize the authorities. Why? Because entirely the product line is different, so specialized people should be employed for that purpose. Okay, so likewise also we have to go for decentralization of authority. And physical dispersion of activities compels the top management to decentralize more managerial authority into divisions or departments working in different areas or countries. So physical dispersion of activities means the top management is resided, as I said before, in if the top management is seeing the activities, the organization in Andhra Pradesh, and now it is going to Delhi, it has to perform the duties there. So the physical dispersion means here, the main organization resides in AP, and another unit or another organization is in Delhi, means there is a geographical variance. Okay, so in such situations, the widely scattered operations throughout the geographical areas, so it is bound to have a high degree of decentralization. Okay, each subsidiary working in different countries or different geographical areas enjoys full operational autonomy in respect of authority as well as resources. Why? Because separate entity is in another area, is in another country. Okay, so another country means, so the top level management cannot reside everywhere, so they have to delegate their authority. So physical dispersion of activities is also needed. The need for physical dispersion of activities results in the decentralization of authority. Okay, and now coming to these factors determining the decentralization. So factors determining the decentralization means, um, decision making is required at every step of the business operations. Okay, however, organizations need not necessarily go for decentralization, but some factors leads to decentralization. Means for large organization, definitely the decentralization concept should be adopted. And what is the degree? Okay, the degree of decentralization in an enterprise is determined by the factors. So to what extent we can give or we can delegate authority to the lower level management. So what is the degree, what is the extent of limit to delegate the authority to the lower levels of management? Okay, so these are some of the factors, okay, that are maintained, that are seen by the top level management while delegating the authority to the lower levels of management. So these are the factors. So nature of growth, outlook of top management, extent of diversification, nature of functions, complexities, availability of able managers, span of control, size of organization, control techniques. So all these are the factors which determine the top level management to what extent we have to delegate the authority to the lower level management, right? Now we'll go deeply into these factors. Okay, first one is nature of growth. So nature of growth means when the organization is going for expansion. Okay, it may be through internal expansion. Okay, or else another diversifications. Okay, so in such cases the nature of growth or development, it leads to the degree of decentralization, to how much we have to delegate the authority. And the same time, if at all it is a sole proprietorship or partnership business, so depending upon sole proprietorship or partnership also, so the nature, it is also the nature of the organization, depending upon the nature also. Okay, so the delegation of authority, how much we have to delegate the authority depends. So as we explained in before, an example regarding the bakery shop. Okay, a bakery shop owner, he is a sole proprietor. Okay, he delegates his authority to three managers for three outlets. Okay, the degree of delegation of authority, to what extent he delegated means, he delegated regarding the operational activities like looking over the customer service, okay, taking the orders, or giving leaves to the employees who are working in the organization, or else the employee turnover. Okay, so in such aspects, the managers are fully allowed to take the decisions. Likewise, so if at all it is a sole proprietorship means, so it depends upon his discretion. Or else if it is a partnership company means, so the with the mutual understanding of the partners, so the delegation of authority will be given to the other levels of management. And at the same time, if at all, if it is a fast growing organization means, so it also leads to the decentralization. Why? Because the decisions should be taken fastly according to the changing environments and according to the requirements of the demand in the market. Okay, so therefore we have to take many decisions. So only top management cannot take all the decisions. Therefore at that time also, in the fast growing enterprises also, this decentralization is very much needed. So it depends upon the extent of decentralization, depends upon all these reasons. And coming to second one, how outlook of the top management. So outlook of the top management means, if at all the top management has a liberal outlook and believes people believing in a democratic approach means, they will tend to decentralize. Okay, so uh, if at all they are not in a very if at all they are not a liberal persons, they prefer more strong centralized planning means. So definitely they will not be, we cannot expect more decentralization. Okay, a limited decentralization can be seen. So thus in the individual freedom it will go in for decentralization, and fewer controls. Management philosophy of top level managers has considerable influence on the extent to which authority is decentralized. Okay, so outlook of top management means here the management's philosophy, do they go for strong centralized planning, or they are, or the top management has a liberal outlook. Okay, so liberal outlook in the sense, are they democratic approach? In the democratic means, we all know democratic means the employees are also can also have a participation in the decision making. Okay, and coming to dispersal of operations, so this depending upon the operations also, dispersal of operations, as I said before, in AP one organization, in Delhi another organization. Okay, so geographically these two organizations were scattered, so in two organizations the same top level management, they cannot reside everywhere. So therefore they have to employ, and some delegation of authority should be given to them. So therefore dispersal of operations also leads to the degree of delegating the authority, decentralization of authority. Okay, uh, next one, extent of diversification. So in a company or enterprise having several product lines, decentralization is not only necessary but beneficial. Okay, diversification means, we all know that diversification means the product line, as I said before, if an organization is already manufacturing a pharmaceutical products. Okay, so now it is going for food related FMCG products means, so entirely a different product line is there. So therefore it is definitely the organization should go for decentralization of authority, because they have to take the employees regarding the skills they are having regarding the FMCG related aspects. Okay, so therefore definitely in order to maintain these two different product lines, definitely delegation of authority or decentralization of authority is very much needed, and this benefits the organization also. Okay, high degree of standardization results in centralization. Okay, so therefore not high degree of standardization. So liberally, okay, democratic type of approach should be maintained by the top level management.